evidently understand that so that can be installed so that the snow slides off. Doesn't sound like it's sliding.
No, just to maximize the solar, I guess, intake, the energy intake. They're relatively flat on top of the arena roof. The arena roof is relatively flat. They are basically facing straight up. Now, if you were further south, you might have to angle it in a different way, but to optimize the power consumption, power intake, they're on spot.
During the summer. We're getting zero.
Yes, that could go well, we get snow cover. Now, if you wanted to go really, well, it's not really that we're actually selling the power back for it, so it doesn't really matter when we make it, right? We're not using our own power, we're using Forest's power, but we're selling power back into the grid. And so we'll make hay when the sun shines. My question about it being banking it or when they're not using that solar.
It would be great not being the utility commission, so that's what thank you, Sarah. I see a lot of things on solar installation in PC hybrid. I haven't seen a lot too far. Am I missing something? Or?
No, I mean, Forest does offer a program. Well, it's just the program they offer is capped at 50 kilowatts. And I'm not sure what the rebate was, but I
didn't bring this up at
CBC
environment committee, and I asked if anybody else on the line, because I think I was the only one.
for this community, and they said that PC hybrid was the same thing, where it's net zero type thing, where they'll buy back from you as much as you buy, sort of thing. So there's not a lot of difference between the way that Forest does it, just the way they present it is different. It would be nice to see something like in Ontario had one where if you're producing all the time, they would buy every bit of it from you, not just setting the study on electricity, but they just only pay us for so much that we can find a way around that. That's something we can bring up with the utility commission and Mr. Energy. It's on my radar.
It's on my list, yeah. So, thank you. If there's no more questions, I'll ask Alan.
We're in council. I have to present my display report. We're doing some energy assessment work at the annex as well. It's been a pretty slow process so far, so we went yesterday on the Zoom meeting or Biscuit, and what they come up with is a pretty long list of sort of a dream list of what they wanted to put into that building. But not all the items that they were proposing were covered under the grant. So it ended up being quite a substantial bill. Like I think they ended up like with $94,000 of extra money. So we actually told them, well, let's go back to basics. We're going to go with the gas absorption unit. That's the fancy one that's out there now. It's like a heat pump that's got a heat source in it. And try to a gas furnace like we originally were, and that's covered under the grant. So we're looking at that. So I guess the concern is the heat pump unit on the peak cold and heat parts of the winter and summer. It might not quite keep up, but I think we're going to test it. Like we're going to test the unit and we're aiming for the best use of the grant money. And we're going to test it. So in the winter it shouldn't be an issue because we'll have a gas-fired furnace to make up very short times. And in the summer, there's a few peak days that might get a little bit warm, but we'll see if we have to supplement it with like standalone air conditioning unit for a week of the summer season. I think that's reasonable. So that's where we are with that. So they're revamping the list and they're putting together a detailed plan and cost estimate. So we should be doing that in the next couple of weeks or so. So that's where we are with that. And I think we've got some funds that we can have written as well. To a reasonable level. So we're not getting the education front. This is these courses. In 23, it was planned official exam. 24, there was online exams for building official. And then recently passed its level 2 exams. So it's not long. So there's still 6 exams left. Level 3. So he's starting to work on those right now. We did upgrade our plan review table this year. So as plans are coming in now, we're getting the opportunity to get in there exposing the new technology. So it's going well. We need the tools that we need to make that work. Yeah, it's going to work. to use that as a document and to just for the process. The other part that's happened too is with COVID and with code changes, they've actually pivoted to change the building code like March 10th. For the last 2 March 10ths, they've started another process when it comes to the code information that's supposed to be out there in the Building Act, right? But they put it off, like here it is, and then they'll put it off, and then the second time around, here it is, March the 10th again. But we're going to go through with the seismic and wind loading, but the list we're putting on, so it makes it really hard to handle, right? It's
communities like ours. I mean, their focus is places like Vancouver, when they build a high rise or something like that,
the same, and they're painting us all with the same brush, and it's not fair. So that's where our challenge with real estate comes from. Don't know what these prefabs are going to look like yet. I mean, figuring out how the factory so that's the real time. It'll need to whatever the building code is. So that's because we're probably going to do whatever we want. But until that happens, we don't know. So we haven't talked about that level of policy yet. They just talked about so there are the efficient ways already in place in the projects too, like you heard Nelson homes. So they're panelized construction. It's like a box is a kit, right? So some of the walls are pre-assembled. All the materials, all of the everything you do in installation, you go as far as outfitting of the place with appliances and everything else too. So that's available now, and it has been for years. So there's a lot of people that went to those type of homes during COVID when the prices of construction just were so wildly skewed, like they were all over the place. But you could still get a contract from a company like that. And when you bought it, you paid for your package and everything was set up for you. That does happen. I will be asking Gary to pursue track with more of a study answer. There's always a rush in the spring. What I try to do with the regular contractors is get them to provide plans over the winter. So it gives us time to make sure everything's in place and we can start it in the spring when the construction season starts. But even if it doesn't go that way, it's just a matter of it's so specific to the plans that there's lots of corrections to be made. It takes a little bit longer. But for wait times, a community this size, they're pretty good. Like they're not that long. I'm getting that feeling too, feedback in the community as well. And it's stuff that's often out of our control, out of your control. Yeah. But the reasons for the delays because of change in code, we got to be kept up on it. Maybe there's things people aren't aware of that change that now we have to enforce. Yeah. So I know. Is there anything that you feel you need that you could use from us? Well, I think we've, with the stuff that we've purchased for the department, and we've created with development services like planning and review, it all seems to be working fairly smooth, I think. Usually we're at good answer. We're getting used to each other and this system's getting in place there, so. So then there's we're bringing in is your department use that as well? Well, the one that we're using right now because it's like an architectural program, it's called Bluebeam. That's pretty solid out there. Like there's lots of people that use that in the industry. We're hoping that we're still using City Recorder for our inspection program. I know that there's a module that comes with the new software that's coming in. We really don't know what that looks like. It didn't seem like a product yet. So it's just a matter of comparing it to what we have, and if it's what we're using right now, it makes more sense to incorporate into the system, or whether it has to be a proprietary incorporation of what we do. We change our system. Either way, I think we're okay with you. Yes. Yes. I think it will, but thank you, Mayor Council. I got a quick list here, but maybe just touch on a few, and then if you have any questions, just shoot them out. Start off with Memorial Park, the 2 replacement project. wise, it is totally complete. It's been working awesome. The amount of water that we have is phenomenal. No issues at all. No issues with drawdown on the wells. That's running really nice. Just a few little electrical bugs here and there to go through, but other than that, it'll be kind of finished up probably starting in the beginning of May, where we'll be back and just do kind of the bug part tidy up stuff. But yeah, that's pretty much all done. The Riverside, the Builder Avenue Riverside Replacement Project, we started that last year. We're waiting for permits to be able to do work around the river, so that's for the directional drill area. We've been granted a temporary permit, so we can go ahead with that, and Brittany will be back in starting in the beginning of May to start that as well. So that project should be done this summer. Work plans for Venture's lift station upgrades, but we recently applied for a grant to develop a new plan to relocate the facility, so we're working on that as we speak. Culverts and lift station, we're still in the process of that. We're just waiting on an answer from a grant that would cover 50% of the project. Hopefully we're going to hear back very soon on that. Airport fuel system upgrades, those have been totally complete now. We're just finding out some bugs on the payment side. That is done. Airport lighting project is complete. There were some issues with a circuit board that we had to get replaced and went to wait for the parts. They were just in, I think, last week to replace that. Now they're just working on a few little programming things, and we should be good to go very soon. We're working on the municipal campground water system and sewer system upgrades right now. Water system we completed last year. And right now we're just in the process of putting a small little lift station in. So that'll be up and running to be able to collect from Gary's facility. And that should be done this week, actually. Once that little lift station's up and running, we'll be able to. I mean, there's a few other ones in here, but if there's questions.
Where are you is it ongoing all the time?
Detection. Yeah, it's pretty much ongoing. With the ground around Princeton, it's very gravelly, so I mean, you don't see any leaks that pop up, so we have to do that quite often just to make sure. But yeah, it's an ongoing process.
Are you catching things every once in a while?
Yeah, most definitely. Luckily, not really not really main breaks or anything like that, but a lot of people, their services that were copper are starting to go, so we're catching those now and starting to replace them.
I would like it to be a main service, so we can find out where the hell it is.
As we get through the services, there's a lot of services and there's a lot of old services, right? So there's going to be some leaks and we're gradually finding them.
The other thing was a bridge in Highway 5. What do you payment for highways responsibility?
That is, yeah, highways responsibility.
Maybe we're to go rise and stuff.
Most definitely.
And finally, the Broad Bridge.
Yeah, that'll be taken care of as soon as Peter's Brothers plant is up and running. We'll fit that in for paving. And yeah, we'll get a metal transition there and then pave right up to it, so it'll be.
As I said about times, it's so nice.
Yeah, yeah, we'll take care of it.
I don't know where I got stuff from the grocery store in the station. You get this. The approach inside you come in, gets where the stop line is, and the new fence that
financing any of our bridge. People are having a hard time, especially in a car, seeing through that. The suggestion was, can we look at maybe being the stoplight back further so they can see on the bridge? Because they just leave the red button and you're looking into this, see the pillars and everything are kind of right there to you. That's what they're saying. I mean, my car, depends what car I'm in, so according to the SUV, it's not so bad. Okay. But yeah, so it's not looking at that. Do you have an idea when we're going to find it? Not quite yet. I'm just waiting for a couple of replies from some companies. Our existing that you guys have been working on a partnership job. Yep. Bit up the Lionsburg yet. Do we do anything with the fence up there? Not yet. So I'm kind of waiting for the final budget to come through and start. So I'm going to look at money for that for sure. Curbside collection it's going great actually. Pardon me, I'm not hearing complaints. No, there's not many complaints at all really. Just some people are not aware of the rules and what they're allowed to put out, and we're still working through that. But we're getting there for sure. But it's going very well. So maybe that's an industrial park where we can approach the next phase, like we talked about coming down this way towards the landfill, like by the warehousing there. There's a few options out there, but I mean they're pretty costly, right? So I mean we'll have to figure out where those funds are going to come from. But I mean there's the phase 4 behind the public works area. That was like $3.4 million to do that as a completion, but that's adding roughly 20 lots. There's a potential phase 5, but that's I think 1.3 to get sewer down. So I mean, there's options there, and they're kind of ready to go, but it's just reliant on funding. You should, this budget, you have money to fill in that square a little bit, so that will create a few more lots, 80%. That's good. James isn't here. Yeah. He's the mayor, of course. No excuse. Migration. It is. Yeah. So, here, the first quarter. As we know, the 10-year recreation plan was approved in March, and it's now online for reviews, which is what's called in the town, the Housing and Recreation. They wanted to mention, so I didn't really mention it, is that the best part of this a really good project for the community welfare. They gave us $2,000 last June with residential programs. So that was nice to see and see that competition. And we had a lot of response from the Northwest. Who was with this town obviously, so that was good and exciting to see. So looking forward to follow that guideline of what plan and potential moving forward. Community events. House meetings were big ones over the winter, obviously, so we saw a lot of that happening. Along with the minor happening, they did really well this year, so it's exciting to see. A lot of indoor events, things like car sales and museum did a lot once a month, so that was great to see the community coming out there, actually seeing some numbers there, so that was nice to see as well. And I do have a correction in my report. There's a dementia-friendly event happening, so May 1st, not May 3rd. We're on the town on the 3rd, so we have to get them before this one. And then the Bridge Street Plaza is coming to life, so we're excited to see that and how we're going to work on that this year. Over the summer, the goal is to start a candidate for town as a program, and we'll candidate with the different groups being involved, so we're looking at some different things. So for candidate, looking for a Canadian Heritage Grant, which we have the election running for some questions. Programs, the leisure guide, the spring leisure, winter leisure guide, and spring leisure guide have both been done online, and so the spring leisure guide now is active and being added to almost every day as the community comes along after spring break, they'll start throwing things out. So which is wonderful to see. There's a lot going on this year. The
So we're seeing a lot of new programs. We're trying to build a bridge. October, we have soccer, we have basketball, which I can't find the space for, and basketball. So we're working with community with a variety of things. My ball, it's not folded this year, but it's taken out here, so they want to be the play program. So they're doing the program with my ball this year. And also new the process is just inspired to see the grant from Campaign Narrows to host the tennis program for kids this year. So we're going to tennis at the end of April for a tri-athlete program, and we're going to develop a book this summer. So we're going to see tennis. So I developed a new group of people in town, not our regulars who play tennis, but a friend of mine, Rachel, a lady in town, who's supposed to be on the so new tennis player out there, so we're glad the bracket sports coming back. We partnered with the DCRPA this year to offer a senior program. The Choose to Fit, Choose to Live and Fitness program is happening at the senior center. We got 14 participants in that. We're on 15 programs, so they get to interact with the program and working at the senior center. So the senior center has become a little spot for us, and that's been really good. So we're really excited about that. With that program too, we'll actually meet some of the guidelines that we have in our national program, but also our age-friendly assessment that was done, looking for more activities for seniors than we're excited to see that. Another pilot project that we're working with, it's a program that's been in our community for a while, but we're working with Princeton County Services and found a place to the arena. So they have more room, they're growing, they're running out of big enough space. So between the arena, Pete, myself, and Chelsea, the program there is a pilot, and it's a partnership. So we're not charging the fee at this time, we're going to reevaluate it shortly in the spring summer and see where we're at. Okay. The Centennial Pool is coming along. We're going to be opening May the 5th for the swim club, and then we'll start our programs specifically for the general community in June. So we'll go back. Most of our staff is returning from last year, which is great because it's hard to find. So Carol is just back from holidays from sitting down this week to just find some things and get the advertising. Exhibition grounds. Popular this year, we have a number of new events coming. So with that, Public Works and myself have been working with some of our local groups to see what needs to be done to just beautify a bit, clean it up a bit, and working with the horse boarders as well. So Country Horsemen are coming for the May long weekend. They're bringing anywhere from 250 to 300 people, and they're capped at 140 horses. So they'll be a really neat event to see that in our community. The wedding of Bylaws is down in the Sam Johnson Memorial on 27th and 8th, so they'll be here. After that, the work is starting to happen for that. We have a kettle metal cycling race that's coming through town. Copper Valley Music Festival is heading up there. BC High School Rodeo is returning, and we also have Harvest Festival happening, along with some public and private little events that are happening as well. So we're starting to see some movement up there. And then our biggest one too is that we've had a conversation with the mine, and the mining days is now going to be out. So they'll be able to host both their event and also all the buses. So it's nice to see them come here buying our little space that don't use for. So we're going to try that this year, and we're working on that. So advertising for that will come out shortly.
So that way you pick up and say,
If I'm a rural, they're getting too big with their buses, and last year the conflict with all the work that was happening down there. Even before then, I felt it was quite congested. So put them in a one-stop shop, but then they're people that go on the buses get off and we're ready to move on to the major parking up there. So it'll grow them. They have a lot more equipment that wants to come in, so I think that's the best place for it.
what are you work on?
It was just a walkthrough of it for you to see it and understand it, so everyone had seen it. They had concern over public just coming, and so they already went backwards. People are used to doing big events up there. They're going to drive from the schools to here anyways, and we're really part of town. So, that's part of it. And when you walk in during the events, it was quite tight, right? Scratched up, so we'll have to get some out down the road, and then bring horse conference. So then there's the website part of it.
Well, every time I turn around, I hear sponsorship coming from the line for this program and that program. With perspective, Mr. Mayor, please contact the panelists and people who seem to be acknowledging them. I talked to with people the other day, and I said, you know, I feel guilty, so I want to turn people on to you, bugging you for more money, but recognize what they're doing for the community. As far as I'm concerned, not the best, business, corporate business, but that I've seen for a long time. And when I talked to John, he had no problem with that being acknowledged. I don't know, it just seems like something that could be mentioned anyway. Yeah, and everybody doesn't with our behavior of this hostile things. So you guys, you guys about the us and there's others everywhere. We do have a really good, I will say we do have a really good relationship with the management team at Bay. Days of Rock. We've been saying it since I've listed whether it's better relationship and so on the cooperative and they've become really good citizens of our community. So I'm very like I didn't know they were stopping us, I just found that out. So, a way to go. Frank gives us an update. I think we do it every 2 months now. We regulate it every month, then we got an update from that month what was going on. We get that update on the third month, just so that we can cooperate and help each other and whatnot. Get together again this week with our writers down the valley so that we can discuss certain issues. We do have a good relationship with them. I'm as a pro citizen, I'm city minister of minds about them. Understand how they are a big part of our community and how they're very valued. The other thing was I'm going to offer a recreation study that tells us information that I found really interesting. And I would like to see council prior to the budget met with your people to get together just to go through that. Meeting that trying to dice up that thing in terms of ideas and suggestions of directions that we need to take as a council in terms of things that to react to what all that input. I mean, there's a lot of information in that report. I just think it would be nice prior to budget that we sat down and kind of dissected it. If it could give us some direction in terms of when we come to budget, we already have some ideas that we need to go with. I was made over it, so it's not right. We'll sit down and discuss how the best to do about it and how better to run. So we do have another budget. It's just our last budget. For this term. So yeah, so we will have time to do this. Yeah, and if I maybe doesn't hear from me, she'll call me and say, we'll Randy's up for you. No, I agree. I mean, that's been a priority of mine since my goodness to do a recreation master plan because all of them was getting up there in age and whatnot. Now that we have it, we can slow it down. If we ever do get that debt appropriation off the ground, one of the things that I proposed was if we do it, let the dividends goes back into the recreation fund, set it up like a trust so that the interest that we so that we have recreation funding for the two. So it goes hand in hand with some of the other things that we talked about at strategic planning. So, thank you.
So we've changed out all the paper towels in all of our buildings. So we all one type was directed to me to do. Upstairs in the furniture and the beds, it was water damage from all the roof damage. That's all been re-drywalled, and there's suspended ceiling in there. That's all fixed. So it's slowly working at building every to get it back to where it needs to be. Repaired the contact on the low-speed motor and condenser this year. It was causing us grief and probably behind the condenser this year. So that's done. I created and built warehouse shelves with my crew in the annex, so we could start renovation downstairs. Also in the annex, there was some TV mounts and some rolling TV and tables and we put them all together, so it's already up to the 2020 program. Built from scratch laundry cabinets downstairs. Laundry cabinets were for the campground. We're working on the campground as we speak. It's getting the schedule. The pool, we were going to get it sandblasted this year, but the price came in really high. So we just started pressure washing and grinding, and full garbage can just on paint chips. And we're starting paint tomorrow. So that's we're at the schedule on that. We took out the ice. We shut the plant down on March the 30th, and we had the ice out for 2.5 days. That's a record. So what happened last year? We had changed all the fans in the arena. We were able to reverse them. So we actually reversed the fans, and we were able to push the heat down and let us pull the ice out super fast. And I called Josh in on Wednesday morning. By 9 o'clock, we were done. And if the street sweeper was available, it would have been done by Wednesday noon. It was just completely done, and it's ready for lacrosse now. So the lines all stayed in place just because we didn't scrape the ground very hard. But it turned really good, so we know not next year that we can get it out pretty fast. So, and then, like I said, campground, we're working on that. We have our crews to pressure washing and getting it ready. It's going to get it re-stained. So it's busy right now this time of year. So it's shifting gears. That's my report.
Street Plaza program for recreation.
No, but it always helps when they're trying to become baby homes.
So maybe just on that topic, is it ready, or is there still a contractor that needs to come in?
No, the goal is to have it fully functional by May. So it may not look forward facing. It'll look like it's finished, but there'll be some internal things we still have to do. We don't have the power lined up just yet, but it's already tied in the first work. We're going to get this power, but we'll be able to use it. So what I know is that everything that we need is here in town. So it's just a matter of just placing it. So,
And then it's public works and recreation.
yeah,
Manpower.
that's right. And that space up. Yes, yeah, it'll be a portable space. Yeah. Sorry, the Olympia was put into service in the beginning of December. And I never really got to talk about it much, but it's an incredible machine, and it really comes the ice nice. Apparently, on full charge, we can clean the ice 35 times. So it's incredible. So we don't have to plug it in every day. We do it every other day. And so we started using it on that Monday, and we said, no, we don't want to be paid on it. So we went to go get the old girl, and we brought her down and just it's, but it worked out really well. Except driving into public works, it only does 9 kilometers an hour. The other one, we actually switched the governor on it, and now we can do about 30. Yeah, it's incredible to show. It's totally different from your own house. So, but yeah, so other than that, yeah, it's good.
We closed early this year,
Unfortunately.
so it only seemed fair that we started.
See what the temperature is.
Is it possible for us to winter it?
August 15th is usually, you gotta remember too, it costs a lot of money to run a plant in August.
We had it ready for August, yeah.
It really comes down to that. I mean, it's difficult for us to put ice in August and then not have any usage after that until the camp planned or right? But I mean, I think we can put days in at any time as long as there's need. Right? So if we have a camp in August, if there's usage that we can see afterwards to kind of compensate some of the expense, then it's definitely doable. But I know from past experience that whenever we start days pump, that's going to be the hardest time of year. So when I think holidays, just ask them to put the ice in. Yeah, we have a big condenser that's got to go in and then compression and stuff. And I'm hoping that I get it going in time too, because that's always the time frame, right? So.
Well, what I'm hearing is that main camps start in September. Right? So that if you're going to have a camp where you invite kids to come to it, and obviously make a little money and all that kind of stuff. Unfortunately, it would be great if you could just wait until September, but if it was possible, August 15th would occur. Still tight.
Yeah, if you're going to run up school or something, you would want to be no later than mid-August.
So likewise,
We've done this before, and we sat, we had I think it was a hockey game, August not weekend, and we had another weekend, and we sat empty in the plant lines, and it's 35 feet outside. It has to keep that ice cold, so you guys keep it. That's what he wants us to put it in. We want to fill our ice time to pay for it because it's expensive, and that number, so that means 2 staff a day minimum. Day and evening, so that's 2 staff a day, so you gotta have people on the ice. I think you can fill it, it's fine. If it's there, you can use it, build it up, it's slam for at least. Yeah, I mean, it's using some of that ice now, when you got other things for ice. You can't put ice in some of them. So there's lots of places that a lot of people put ice. But you guys talk about that. It is possible. It's hard on the plant. It's hard on the equipment. It's hard on the staff. But you can do it. It's just you gotta have it worked out. So, but if you just have a camp like a week or so before, just it's not our hard it's something. And I guess they're gonna keep playing with main camp. Let's talk about this later. I wouldn't say it's not hot. It's interesting it's selling up. year, and the first quarter is along, and that's the what we've been working on. The files at the end of 2024 team included 141 files. In the beginning of 2025, we had 20 active files and 111 files. So a little bit of a description on how those files came to us. Raise our town staff by observation and public. The observation by bylaw has remained static, which just means that our 5 officers out of the community people is shared. And the majority of the information that we receive is really bylaws from public. So, any questions about that we'll try to provide as we change to a system of tracking. That should start to look familiar to you as we go through the
I did see that you, on your margin code of the report that, the report that the Northern Lights Wildlife Center has reached out and given us such as before. Please confirm that.
I can jump right down to that.
Okay.
So, because the wildlife and what's smart wildlife community system, they were given information to through the safe end of things. I guess maybe that's beginning online that we had again, and they're reaching out to us to provide any assistance that we need during the time, the absence of the program. So, it's not what commitments have been made. They're actually being financial. Things for this stuff yet. So, maybe something that staff wants to direct. Staff. Further, this idea. That would be up to you. Me or in progress. Page 2. Yes. The area that I'd like to highlight is the Indigenous engagement funding program, which was supplied as $140,000 to the collaboration of the Alberta Single Indian Band. Discussions over the past year trying to do the HRBA, which is the hazard risk vulnerability analysis. We can spend money to support First Nations activities. This was one activity that they identified as wanting to move forward with. So currently, waiting for the council to reach an agreement with this supplier, so that we can actively get the council to discuss.
So is that separate from
The plan, the upper slope being bad would like to get concurrent with the other process. Both the upper Princeton are included with that HRBA. But it was felt that there was enough concerns out about that they would like to hire someone who's a professional in the field to also speak to that plan on their behalf. And I think just ending on the first program is not really for 2005. When infections are beginning, every day they're available. The owners are encouraged to reach out and defer and do an inspection and apply themselves to that program. Field treatments will be completed throughout the community as they were last year. This year's planning concentrated on the KBR trail through town and some other locations that are slightly outside town. So that's
I just wanted to have a friend do the border that's like basically Main Avenue of the shop, old shopping.
so that specific corridor as in the CWRP was identified as an issue. There was previous geological study done for a different purpose, during a different period of forest memories in 2008, was to remove all of the pine off the hillside, trees off the hillside, which was a risk. The new fire program has changed to the degree of the trees without removing live vegetation. We're clearing underbrush and dead branches and stuff that is easily flammable. Before we can do any work up there, we need to do a technical report with that in mind and cruise as to how to do that without impacting the stability. So there won't be any work on that this 25 season.
But the geotechnical part is when did our next year's on?
Well, so it's more, so
There's a number of provincial agencies if we concentrate on a portion of these it greatly reduces the scope of there has been positive outcomes to the west. The highways did slow stability work. In a single event, the hillside slid. Put in a forest fire. So that would be halted their ground. If there was something coming from the west into Princeton, we could probably catch it with that location. There are pinch points, and if there's anything starting in the community on that hillside, it'll be a challenge for us as a first water on it and get good results.
the last fire's were done the hillside over here, done through CORRESPONDENCE fire and developed things. So it's done through the provincial agency, that's why we found as much as they could, and they, some places they may have moved them longer, but there was some major geotechnical issues on the hillside and vegetation because they were concerned about slides if they continue forward. So, but again, there's like these cross jurisdictional obligations. We still don't have a license or permits or whatever to cross and do work. There's board regulations
this is super low, so we're going to get a full study done at this point. Possible, but it's something that actually Jared Lyle might flag for the transportation code stuff. We will get that into the geotech. That's part of the bigger thing. We didn't have something there, so we'll be able to decide geotech instead of just a small section. Funding through the local as well as the field sites, the stability of this on the shop there, so that's part of it. So we just wait for practice on that. So once we get that, then we'll just flag that conversation over. I've got questions over here. If you don't get time to answer them. The joint grant that we have for the service, temperatures and everything. Was there anything usable in it before? So we can have that study report. That report we received a grant. Sure that it was resolved. So we accepted it. So the vision office accepted it. So yes, that information can now be used with the yeah, so the HBA can use that information as well as the agency task group, which is trying to resolve Princeton's extreme heat code. This information. So the person that I'm in contact with ADJOURNMENT was asking for the information so we can build a perspective of the change that we'll be expecting in the future. The other one is we've got the link tabletop series, which levels are presented to us at the last board meeting of the one that I think you guys want to take it up Summerland and carry this in the carry this is actually for project. That project is that training is still ongoing. The regional district has more staff in place in that DOC. We're only dealing with DOC management. So they don't work on their own training. Yes, and so that they're including they're including all member organizations, so region. And we've done some specific training around other liaison officer recently. And that came out of the original training. So the recommendations that we received of the agency are that in place for these seasons. Last question I have is the smoking wildfire. Still ongoing. Yep. Still smoking. Table takes place. The reason why I said I was just I got with senior staff from EMC. We're talking about the risk assessments and HR, PAs, full province, and how they can reach and discuss with them that Princeton can't just be one thing, but the rest of the company. Have to work on it, social ecosystem. They agree that there's some complexities around that, so follow up with them, but I'm going to follow up and try to get meetings with their team, our team, to think, whereas our team, the whole valley, because we'll be down a discussion on how separate from the impact and just the economics, like our job situations. sheds and different cooperation there, as well as the Fraser Valley, actually from a risk assessment. So, yeah, sheds would be concerns that were raised with the number single community event and why they've chosen to this take and specialize the scope to what they do other lives. One of the reasons why I think it's important for us to participate. Thanks. We're going to planning and development services. One more second. Business as usual, I think a couple things that have come up. Obviously, our housing needs report was completed. Now we can kind of look at the action items that have come out of that and adjust our CP and zoning levels. We should see a draft of our new zoning bylaw possibly this week. We'll get work done there, and we'll continue to work on that one. Two other things you were talking about timelines on permits and things like that. I believe that the biggest impact from our department, well, two. One, the delegation of variances and development permits. I'm sure you guys have noticed how few you've seen in the last year. That ability to delegate is really streamlined things on the planning side. And then the second, with new legislation, adjusting when public hearings are held and whether they're held at all. Certainly, some of those timelines and concur with Alan that we're figuring out our systems and coming up with some continuity on zone reviews and things like that to keep things moving along. It's strange for us right now. We've got just shy of 90 doors of multi-family units that are either in an application stage for zoning or permit. Both have challenges, flood construction level and parking being the major challenges for just about anything in our numbers. So things are moving along slowly on some of the larger ones, but they are in stream. Questions?
Is that on the planning part? Okay. Just, I see the one-way lane, Bridge Street to Line completed. That's behind. That is correct. So what I mean by completed is that we were successful in getting that bonds. That's where we're at, it's registered. So as far as portions. Hand it over to Jared. Yes. That's okay. And then only one permit on the business facade.
So there's one application in, but other pre-planning discussions.
Okay. Excellent. Okay. So a little bit on the zoning bylaw, yes, we are going to get the draft this week for opening as what they're telling us. But it still won't be till winter time. That we're expecting it to be adopted. There's still review and public engagement. I'm going to start getting back into reviewing some of the bylaws. You've seen a few of them out there for a while. They're under review. Solid waste recycling collection bylaw. It's sort of gone back and forth between me and Jared a few times. Lots of worthwhile. So I haven't looked at it for a while, so I need to review it again. And as far as the airport lands, we So we're going to put that to the side for a bit, just waiting for the ALC exclusion. I haven't got anything back from them. Initially, I was told it would be 90 days. The application went in December 20th, so I was thinking May 15th or any time after that, but I still haven't received anything. They do have a blurb on their website that they're taking longer than normal due to shortage of staff, so we'll just wait and see when that happens. The fire hall alternate approval process is still running right now. Closes April 22nd. I have received no form of support for that so far. That's about the highlights for what I have on my list here. Any questions?
I thought this carryover from flood mitigation engineering study. When I asked about whether town can be of some help in terms of so many of these houses that now don't meet requirements in terms of heights and whatever. That when I mentioned that possibly we could be information supplier in terms of whether you want to lift your house up or whether you want to do whatever to it in terms of trying to make it meet the requirements. And I'm told it's like not our job or we're liability. We should be, we should be supplying people's different businesses names that a person could go to and find out that information. And as far as I'm concerned, it's a job we should be, we can't do anything for, but certainly we should be able to supply information in terms of where you could go and find out how much would it cost to raise my house up, all that sort of thing. Can we not supply information without worrying about liability or whatever?
I think the issue was every building or parcel environment has a structure on it is going to be different. So I can't say that this house on Fenchurch is going to cost $50,000 to raise it, when in fact it's $120,000. I wouldn't want to speculate. As far as supplying them with contractors that can do that, it's on our website. They can look up anybody that has a business license. There are contractors that are willing to give them quotes for that. If they want to come in and see me or Mark in regards to is there somebody out there that can do that, we can do that. But as far as giving out prices, I don't think we should be setting the
I never
prices.
meant, but I meant being able to supply information. I have a house I need raised.
Yeah.
I'd be interested to know who I can go to that within that business.
Well, they can
And
certainly
I imagine that I'm not the only one. I think there's a lot of people in the same boat that if this was information was put out there, where right now I'm sitting, I'm not doing anything because I don't know anything about it. But if that information was out there saying there are people that you could go to and get them to come and look at your house and give you an estimate, that's all I'm talking about. I think staff is always open to, if someone can discuss stuff like that, we're happy to get there if we don't. So we have contact, well, I know we can get some research. I do, top of my head, I know one company in New York does that, and I can definitely share that information. So, okay, it seems like something we can do. Yeah, we can't do anything about the routes, but at least we can give them where to go to be able to do something about it and stop it.
Absolutely. They can come in anytime and talk to either myself or Mark, and we can give the information of what's prepared, and there's any planning side of it. Like construction.
Also, I don't know how many discussions about it were sat on this topic that like in the last 3 years might be an accurate number. Honestly, the people coming in and
section of the building code that deals with heritage charges. That's how they were treated. So the expectation wasn't that they would be up to current standards now, but just to bring them back to the local standards so people got their houses back. They're still in a flood zone. That hasn't changed. Not doing something completely different. Very, construction, flood resistant building. We've actually done that because the rates of the flood construction zone has come up to a point where you have to mount too much material onto your property to meet your flora to that level. So we've actually got our engineering involved for there's a couple of places in the arena right now that's being built. So the foundation walls come right up to the other side of the floor upstairs, but they're solid concrete. They're not stacked with wood construction in the middle. So it's flood resistant housing, so that's supposed to be able to stand up to flood water that might come onto the concrete. The only thing that we have to limit is what you can put in that space because of course it's vulnerable. So try to keep your utilities, your furnaces, your appliances, and everything out of that space. You live on the upper level. Like a garage would be a common use for that space underneath. And that allows you to build up or get your living quarters out of the flood zone. But you still have an easily restorable area if it gets damaged on the bottom. For the commercial spot, or for commercial down here, we've actually done quite a bit of research in looking at other communities, what they do up to the lower mainland. So we've come to a conclusion by changing the flood zone to the construction flood zone. We've actually got the people that want to develop down there. We're allowing them to build into the flood zone with commercial property, but no residential in that flood zone. It's all going to be above. So the buildings that are out there right now, the two duplexes are the two buildings that are there right now are the old flood height, so going to be the best how they were constructed. So there's a mixed use one that's going in there right now. But they're going to be down on the sidewalk level with commercial construction, so that'll be accessible to the public because once again, the flood zone is high enough down in those areas to make that really unbuildable if you don't allow the commercial area in that flood space. So that's kind of how we handle it in that regard. There's a clause that relieves the town of any liability by the building and the construction has to be an engineer design for flood resistance construction. So that's kind of how we've dealt with that. It's not a matter of then raising the houses. You still have to try to be able to use that space. And I think you still can. You might be able to raise a building up, but still do the same things, but we're looking at it from a new construction level in the houses that are the same that are there and restore what they were a little bit better. But it seems to be, there doesn't seem to be a lot of people once they got their houses back and thinking of raising them up. That's really getting that real conversation. In my mind, I talk about a whole lot of information. I'm sitting there with a house that I would love to get out of. It came up 4 feet. If I can get my rental house up 4 feet, then I'm out of it. I'm safe. And whatever I have underneath has got to be flood-proof kind of thing. Like it's okay that it gets flooded. But to me, when you say about one person coming in, here I am right now. I'd love to have the information to be able to do something about it. I'm the only one. Actually, in the sense that I haven't done anything, but I'm interested. I haven't made a move. I don't say how many more people are. You're saying there's one person and that's me. So I'm saying you're the only person that's come in and had that discussion. I haven't. And I keep saying to you, I am the guy and I haven't come in to see you. so we can actually do the session in the club. So now, it's fairly recent, but it's all kind of play. But now we're doing the club, it's like there was no option available. So, check the notice. So if you are interested in looking at some, there's information available for what you have to do to support that in club zone. So that's available now.
Okay, well, like all I'm saying is let's put it out there. If one person besides me comes in, then fine. I'm wrong, but as far as I'm concerned, I'm sitting there being the example that you're talking about, that I haven't seen anything. I haven't done anything because I haven't seen anything offering the direction I could go.
It's still relatively new, and so you're not wrong in asking the question. And usually what it takes is the one person to actually do it. And then the ripple effect goes, oh, well, I tried to do that for miles. I did it for miles. So, but, yeah, it will happen. It's going to be a natural process.
Yeah, Down on Fenchurch is that they're two, they're bright bulbs and they both raise their
Raised hers, and
yeah.
unfortunately, they forgot to float it out. The city is like, well, there's, but I mean, the city, one of them said, one of the business licenses, other contractors that are licensed to operate in Princeton, and there's, I'm not gonna mention any of them in the meeting, but they're all listed there, so you, so contracting. Is this something that you can Prosperous is the guy that did most of it. Okay, so maybe these guys do it. So a question you can ask Canadian contractors, whether it's money or city contracting. So those guys, if that's something they do. Okay. Any other questions? With that, I will take us to the next session, which is to close the meeting for 90 regulations. Thank you very much, Terry.